Hey everybody, welcome to Life of Sunny Lea. And this week has not been as productive for me as usual. Sunday and Monday, I hardly even remember. All started Sunday morning before church. I usually get dressed for church, and except for I put on my everyday clothes to go out and take care of the animals. And then when the animals are fed, I come upstairs and I change into my outfit for church. Well, last Sunday, I did that, and I took Dusty out while Bill straightened up her room, and she had not seen him yet that morning, and she gets real excited when she sees people. I mean, she gets super excited. And so I had her outside, and she'd been out for about 15 minutes, and he came around and dressed in his Sunday clothes to check on his tracks. And she saw him. And she was on this short leash, which is 26 feet long. And he said to control her. So I started to reach for her. And I have a condition known as trigger finger. And it's in both hands. And I never know which finger it's going to get. It's going to work. And so I was reaching down to grab her leash, and my fingers locked up. Now this is a painful situation when they lock up. Pain, it takes a lot for me to feel pain and actually say it hurts. It hurts when these fingers lock up. And the worst part about it is that you can't unlock them without manually pushing on them to unlock them. So my fingers locked up when I was grabbing her. And she was so excited that she was pulling really hard to get to him. And then she goes into circles. And she circled around. And I couldn't leave go of the leash. And she circled around twice my feet. And I was body slammed to the ground. And hit my head, whole side right here. I don't know if you can still tell, but I had dark circles underneath these eyes for the glasses rammed into my eyes. My right eye was very sore for Monday, Tuesday. It was still sore. On Thursday, it was still tender to the touch. You could touch it more, but it was still a bit tender. Didn't have any problem with the vision. My knee was messed up and it would hurt. And my arm was hurting because I couldn't put my arm out to brace the fall because it happened so suddenly. And also my arm was locked to the leash. And so first thing I had to do was get my glasses out of my eyes because it was pushing in quite heavily. And then Bill had to come and help hold her and get her so I could get my feet untangled. Well, I don't remember bringing her in, but according to the Ring camera, I'm the one that brought her back inside and put her in a room. And went up and washed up and got ready for church. Well, we got to church, and my phone went off, saying that she was doing something she wasn't supposed to be doing. And so I checked the camera, and sure enough, she was trying to eat the leg off of the the rubber leg off of the cap off the chair. So I yelled at her through the camera, nothing. And Bill suggested we call Doug. I didn't think it would work, but it was worth a try. Well, she's a herding dog, and Doug doesn't work with her very much, and she knows it, and she herded him. As long as he stood where she wanted him to, she just sat there and looked at him. Wouldn't go in the crate, just kind of stared at him like, what the heck are you trying to get me to do? And when he tried to get back in the house, she wouldn't let him. So, and for some reason the phone was not working with my camera, but I couldn't talk to him. And so I got Bill's phone and for some reason, I was allowed, allowed us to talk to him. Well, he was upset because he couldn't get her in, and he was ready, wanting to go to church. So we ended up turning around, coming back home, and Bill did talk him. Guy Dareball. Bill did talk him into how to get back in the house by walking backwards slowly and squeezing between the two doors to get in. So he did get back into the house, and he was on his way to church by the time we got home. But we had to drop off the offering at church, turn around, and come all the way back home. I had no problem getting her in the crate. She went right in. I changed the battery in the Ring camera, and we went back to church again. We got there for the final prayer and for communion. We got there in time for the communion. So, and then we went out to eat afterwards. And I was wanting to have them just drop off and, drive back myself to take care of her, but they wouldn't have it because of how I hit my head. And it was probably a good thing, because by the end of service, I was actually looking up on my phone how long I had to stay awake after hitting my head, because I was getting very, very tired. So I managed to stay awake, and came back home, took her outside, and I remember having her outside, and then we took her inside to do some training inside. I must have fallen asleep at one point because she woke me up by licking my face. Her place command is right next to a chair, and I was sitting in that chair to keep her in place command. And she did really well, and put her back in her room. And Monday, I don't remember much. I do know that I stayed home. I know I fixed a roast because it was easy to fix. I know Sean was home, but I spent most of the time just on the couch relaxing, or out here with her, watching her. I did put the e-collar on her because she was wanting to go near the irises and the peonies, which are both toxic to dogs if they eat them in large amounts. And so I didn't remember that. It just worked really well. I've had the e-collar on her ever since, because she has minded so much better. I don't use the shock part. I only use the vibration and the sound. And what I did was, when she keeps throwing her ball over here to me. What I did was, when she went where she wasn't supposed to be, I called her name. I told her to leave it. And then I put the, if she didn't do it right away, I put the sound on. And if she didn't move then, I put the vibration on. I only had to do that once. From then on out, it was the sound only. And then it got to the point where it was just my voice. And every once in a while, you would have to reinforce it with the sound. But she has done much better. I've used it with her nipping, and that has helped. She's paid a lot more attention to me when I speak. And the only problem with e-collars, they've got a bad rap because people think of e-collars, they think shock. I have not used the shock, and I don't plan on using the shock. The only time I would ever use the shock is if she did something that was really, really dangerous and I had to stop her immediately. And when you use an e-collar, you use it with something that they already know. Like, you don't try to train them with an e-collar. If they don't know, leave it, and you're saying leave it, and you're vibrating them, they don't know what you want. But if they know what leave it means, it's just a gentle reminder of tapping them on the shoulder, say, hey, listen to me. If you don't listen to me, you're going to get this vibration. And it's not going to hurt you any, but it's going to startle you a little. And that's all it does. It startles them. It doesn't hurt them at all. And they don't like it. And next time when they hear that little sound, they go, uh-oh, I know that's followed by a vibration if I don't do what I'm supposed to be doing. And then it gets to the point where they listen to your voice more, and you don't even have to use the sound. So it has really changed and upgraded our training. It's really helped with our training quite a bit. So I had that on her, and I'm keeping that on her when she's in her room and stuff. I take it off at night. I take all collars off when she's in the crate. We had a problem with shoes. I left one collar on her once and she got caught. Luckily we were home at the time and got her uncaught. The buckle had gotten caught into the wire. So I take all collars off when I put a dog into a crate. That's just something I do. And I would suggest everybody do that. Tuesday I had to go and get her dog food and stuff. My husband had to laugh. I told him, oh, I just have to buy dog food. A few things. Yeah. A few things was dog food, a small bag of chicken food, a new 26-foot leash for her, so she's got this one pretty much worn. And this was Shoe's old leash, so it's been good. And it came to over $100. Just a little few things I had to buy for the dog. It's been an expensive week for the dog also, because we decided that she is quite large for the crate, and we really don't want to have her in the crate for long periods of time. Like 4 hours is the max that we want to keep her in the crate. So we bought her a doggy playpen. I haven't put it together yet, but we're planning on putting that in her room, and that way she will still be able to be in her room, but she won't have she'll have more freedom than what she has in the crate, but she won't have access to a lot of the things that she's getting in trouble with. So I bought that. I haven't put it together yet. It came on Wednesday. Wednesday, my eye was still sore, but not as much. I could touch it. Before that, I couldn't hardly even touch it without it hurting. Now I can touch it, and you can still see a little dark spots on my eyes, but they're getting better too. On Thursday, I went in to the greenhouse, and it was finally warm enough that I could open up the sides again. And went in to check and water the plants, and I found this little guy. And it is an eastern black king snake, which is a good snake to have in a greenhouse if you're going to have a snake in there, because they eat mice, they eat rats, they eat copperheads, they eat rattlesnakes, and they eat cottonmouths. So they are a good snake to have if you want to have a snake in your greenhouse. And he's fairly harmless. He doesn't move much when I'm around. He doesn't do anything until I start watering, and then he goes, oh gosh, she's got water, and he takes off. So I just have to know that he's there and watch what I'm doing. He prefers to be in the beets and turnips, which is not the best place for him as far as I'm concerned, because I don't see him until after I've potted the leaves. So we are very cautious in the greenhouse at this point in time. And the turnips are ready to be harvested, so I will be harvesting them. And then on Friday I put her playpen together. Now, I was a little disappointed. First of all, it said it could be used indoors or outdoors. Okay. You can't put it together indoors. The rods are so tall that with an 8-foot ceiling, you cannot lift them up high enough and put them through the slots without pulling the sides down to the side, which is fine until you get to the last one. How are you going to get that last one in? You can't pull the whole thing over on its side to put that last one in. So, and then they stick up above the ground. They stick up above the ground that much, and there's no way to anchor it to the floor. And with this outside, you just push them into the ground, and that anchors it. So there's a big problem there. Next is the door. The door goes in like this, which means the dog has to hop over that to get in, or you have to open up a side panel and leave it in. You can't open up a side panel inside because it's too tall. And next it says not to put the dog in and leave it unattended. The whole point was to put her in so she wouldn't have to be in the crate. Dusty, leave it. And then it said to have the collars off of them. I hardly ever take the collars off, but that's no problem. I can do that. But the thing that really got me was it says, not for an energetic dog. Look at this. She's so running around crazy all the time that she's very energetic. So, saying that not to leave it an energetic dog, not to leave it unattended, I'm not for sure how I'm going to be able to use this. I mean, I'm sure we can figure out a way, but we may have to change some of the ways it's put together. I don't know. It's going to take some training. We won't just be able to put her in and leave it, because if she jumps on the sides, it could knock the whole thing over if it's not anchored. And I don't know if it's big enough to put the crate inside of it, and that would anchor one side of it so she couldn't pull it over. So we're kind of at a standstill right now, and it's out here in the front yard. And she's getting used to it, just sniffing it and getting used to it. So that's what we did Friday. Then on Saturday, he went up and mowed up at my mom's house, and I took care of the animals. I had her outside for a good 2 hours. The boys left to go to Columbus to go shopping, which they do about twice a month. They go up there. And then we met them all up there on Saturday evening at Texas Roadhouse to celebrate Chris's birthday. His birthday was actually Friday. We celebrated a little bit, but he didn't want to go out and eat on Friday because he had to go to work. And so we had a cheesecake, and at work they had an ice cream Oreo cake for him. So he celebrated his birthday, and he's going to be stretching it out this weekend by going out and eat on Saturday, and then we've got plans for Sunday also. So it's been an interesting week. It's supposed to be warmer again, so I should be able to get the tomatoes planted. I've got them hardening off, and they're ready to plant. The sweet potatoes are waiting to be put in the ground. So this coming week, that's what I plan on be doing, planting my tomatoes and my sweet potatoes, as well as decluttering and cleaning the house. So stay tuned to see what I do next week. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everybody.